Good morning.
Still a bit louder.
Good morning.
That is really nice. Tensed or confident? Are you all tensed or confident? The presenters who are they selected people. Are you all confident or not?
Yes.
That's nice. Myself, Manisha, and my co-host of today's event, Bijal ma'am, we heartily welcome you all to the third day, we can say, the final round of Intellect Meet 2013. Please clap for that. At least we have reached to our final destination, that is the third day, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. I'm not going to leave you without you answering me, okay? So please answer me if I ask you something. Though Divi sir is not present over here, but from my bottom of the heart and on behalf of all you, I would like to thank him that he has given us the wonderful platform and the stage for us to perform the presentations, and he has allowed us to take our own presentations, that is our own topics. Isn't that great or not?
Yes.
Why do you think it is great that he has given us our own choice topics? Can anybody answer that? Anyone? Or should I come randomly? Why do you think that he has given us the opportunity that we can take our own topics to present in front of the mass?
At least we can, present ourselves more better way.
That is very true answer, that we can present it in our better way, as well as we are going to be in a comfort zone. How can we forget our judges? Judges are mentors who prominently gave us guidance where we required, as well as motivated to perform without fear. The judges were the main part of our these 2 days, the Intellect Meet, and how we can forget them wherever they guided us. That was the prominent guidance given by them, as well as very positively attitude towards the participants. Wherever they felt these teachers are hesitate, they always motivated us. So we heartily thank you all. Today's judges are Ragna ma'am, Namaskar ma'am, and here Parvez sir. Thank you so much, sir. Let us start our day with the prayers. I would like to request you all to get ready for prayers.
तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः।
पुरुषोत्तम गुरु तू
efforts by the teachers, innovative topics, admirable presentations, heart-touching videos, and many more. These were the wow points which we observed throughout these 2 days. Day 1. Any guesses, like, not guesses we can tell, but anyone can tell how we started with the day 1? You have to be interactive with me, otherwise I'm going to come down over there. What was the day 1 procedure which we started with?
Innovation.
Perfect. Inauguration. Motivating thoughts, a nice preaching by Swamiji by whom we got an actual meaning of being an intellect person, but little heart beats of teachers heard at the same time was actually a very good start, isn't it? The teachers had to present themselves in front of such a huge mass confidently, but by Swamiji's preach and motivational thought by the research was always with us to give us a kind of relief. Day 2. Teachers with more confidence and ready to present their idea more efficiently and effectively. Last but not the least, how we could forget our lovely anchors who had always been with us, taking us from the topic to topic in their own way. I think so in my group, I had Neha ma'am and Payal ma'am. Who are the judges? Can you raise your hands throughout the groups? Group A, who are the judges? Sorry, who are the anchors?
Satyendra ma'am and Apurva.
Apurva, sir, okay. These all were the lovely anchors we have heard, and we have seen that Payal ma'am and Neha ma'am were the anchors who were in my group, and they really took us to the very nice way to the presentations. Who comes next? Any guesses? Any guesses who comes next? Without whom? Should I give you the hint?
Judges.
Judges obviously, which we already talked about. But the people whom we can say that today's event is not possible at all. Who are those? Any guesses? I've already given you the hint.
Heads.
Yes? No?
Teachers.
Which teachers?
Selected teachers.
Okay, that is the selected teachers who are going to present their presentations in a nice way. We all heartily congratulate you all, and best for giving your presentation without any fear and nervousness, okay? So give your presentation at your best level and try not to get nervous. This is your own platform, this is your own stage. Think as if it is you are giving in front of the mirror. And try to be more confident and don't get feared by your colleagues over, because we all are yours. Rubrics. We are going to do the presentation for 20 minutes each individually participant. 15 minutes will be allotted for the presentation. Now, at the 12th minute, the first bell would be rang. 3 minutes would be given for your winding up of the session. And we are going to stick with this time. 5 minutes would be the interaction session with the audience as well as judges. They would be asking you the questions as well you are going to answer them. So, we are going to stick up with this 15 minutes of presentation. At 12th minute, we are going to ring the first bell. 3 minutes for winding up. Total, you are going to get 20 minutes. And please stick to these timings. Don't ask for the more time. Thank you so much. Should we start? Yes. Eager to listen to the people selected? Yes or no?
Yes.
I not sleepy.
No.
Then why not answering? Okay. What is karma? Anybody can answer the question, what is karma?
The deeds, whatever we do.
That is true. Anybody else? Why Neha ma'am is only answering?
Because I can't remember.
You cannot resist yourself to speak, isn't it? Okay. The one who believes in karma, show your palm. Show your palm. Front side of your palm. The one who believes in karma. Here, that side. Nobody believes over there? Show your palm. Even judges can show. Heads. This side nobody believes in karma? Okay. The one who does not believe in karma, please show your back side of palm. Interesting, no? If we are doing this way, why should we do this way? Okay. Karma is, I think, I'm not having much knowledge, but I think it should be a kind of return, maybe as a good fruit or a curse. For the better knowledge, let us welcome Parag sir with his topic, Theory of Karma, a very informative topic.
Let me try without the mic. Okay. Namaskar and good morning to all of you. Can you hear me without the mic?
Yeah,
Thank you.
namaskar, sir.
Please, more comfortable with that. Myself, Parag Nagda, I am teaching 10th, 11th and 12th physics. First of all, I would like to thank the institution for all my professional growth as well as my personal growth. Just to inform you, my wife, the best gift of my life was a gift of genius to me. Coming to my topic, research. No, it's not a research, it's a search. It's a quest. My quest, it started long back, I don't remember, when I was a child. Staying in Bombay, we frequently used to travel through trains, and I used to think, these coolies lifting a lot of luggage, working 14, 16 hours a day, earning a few hundred rupees, and great guys, stock brokers, investors, sitting behind computers in the AC offices, making millions in minutes. What's the logic behind it? Me working very, very hard and just coming to good results, and my friends, without much of their efforts, getting excellent. What is the reason behind this? The quest went on. Being a Jain, we usually, occasionally have meetings with our religious heads. And I always used to question them. Why so much of injustice prevailing among the society? Someone is rich, someone is poor. Why? In one of those meetings, I came across a word, karma. And my quest began. What actually is karma? To begin with, I'd like to share a small incident. 18th century England, in evening time, a mechanic doing his daily course hears a cry for help. He puts down his tools and rushes towards the cries. And what he sees is that a young boy is fallen into a ditch and slowly seeping inside the ditch. Without giving a second thought, he jumps inside, rescues the boy out. Next day, in front of his garage, a pretty car comes down and a rich, young, handsome gentleman steps out with the child. He introduces himself saying, "I'm the father of this kid you saved yesterday, and today I've come here to thank you." The mechanic, name was Fleming, refuses. He says, being a human being, it's my duty to save a human life. The rich man argues a lot. He says, "No, you give me a chance to return your favor." In the due course of time, the rich man sees that Fleming has a small kid, just like his own. He proposes that, "Will you allow me to nurture your child the way I will do to my child? He'll get the best education available around." Fleming thinks for a while and finally agrees to it. Both kids grow up going to the best schools, best universities available. Fleming's son moves on ahead to become Dr. Alexander Fleming, who discovered the first antibiotic, penicillin. The rich man's son also grows up. In due course of time, he falls ill with a dreadful disease. People had not discovered that at that time. And he is once again saved by Fleming's antibiotic. The rich man's son was Sir Winston Churchill. I gave you this story because it's a proof that good things always give you good returns. But we all are very impatient about it. Doing good today, I should get good today itself. It's not possible. Karma is very complex. Even Lord could not completely describe the characteristics of karma, how they mature, at what time they come into existence, and what time if they give you the pain, the pleasure. My search goes on and would go on. A few insects of what I found in this course of my life I would like to share with all of you. Karma, what goes around comes around. It's a cycle. Next please. Life, according to me, is an echo. What you give, you're bound to get back. What you sow, so shall you reap. जैसी करनी वैसी भरनी हिंदी में कहा जाता है. गुजराती में बोलते हैं जेव वाओ एव लणो. Every language, every religion, every scripture has somewhere in it the concept of karma. Basically, Hinduism, Jainism, and Sikhism, they staunchly believe in karma. What we send out comes back, and the last, most important, what we see in others, it's because it's in me. When you see your friend as a devil, it's because you are devilish inside. When you see your friend as a god, you are God inside. Next please. Small illustration. Karma, what you give, you get back. The cycle may be short, may be long. We don't have any actual predictions how it works out, but definitely it works out. Next please. Coming to the main topic, what is karma? Any action, physically we do it, or verbally we speak out, or our thoughts, that is karma. Our own karma. And this karma includes both the cause and the effect that it's going to produce. Simple things, good deeds will give you good fruits, evil deeds will give you evil fruits. You cannot expect an apple coming on a mango tree. You can either do so. Right? The same way karma says, you can't expect good things when you do bad things. Please. Okay, the activities that we do, as I listed out, physical activities, the verbal activities, and the mental activities. And in this also, there are three subcategories. First, we do the activities ourselves. Me, myself, doing it. Second, I'm asking someone to do it. And third, directly or indirectly, I'm inspiring someone, encouraging someone to do it. That's karma. So ultimately, 3 is 9. There are 9 ways in which we go on accumulating karma. And believe me, there is no second in your life when you are not accumulating karma. These karmas, they stick to your body, to your soul. And those who stick to the body, it's easy to get them off. You die, the body goes off, the karmas goes off. But those which are in your soul, they will not leave you. Next. Okay, at the time of bondage of karma, 4 characteristics are determined. The first characteristic is the kind, the nature of the karma that's going to bind. Second is how many karma particles are going to bind. There are theories which say that as we are surrounded by matter around us, there is something called karman particles which we cannot see, which cannot identify, but they are present around us. And every second I am attracting them towards me. We all are doing this. They are coming towards us. Some stick to the body, some seep inside to our soul. Third characteristic, how long these particles stay with us. And the fourth one, how strongly they bind us. Next. Okay. On the basis of nature, there are 8 karmas. And out of these 8, broad classification has been done in 2 categories, 4 each. First 4, as you see, they are ghati karmas. Ghati is a Sanskrit word. Okay? These karmas stick to the soul. They will not leave you. Those are knowledge obscuring, that is Gnanavarniya karma, which does not allow you to get the correct knowledge. Darshanavarniya karma means it's a karma which will not allow you to identify the truth. It creates a problem in darshan, in your perception. You will not be able to perceive what is true, what is false. Okay? Third is antaray. Antaray never lets you do what you want to do because you never let it happen in someone else's life, and it's reflecting back into our life. And the fourth is mohini. According to me, myself, it is the strongest karma, mohini. We have not many stories talking about the mohiniya karma, where this karma ends up into repetitive births and rebirths. It's just because a piece of attraction that got bounded not to the body but to the soul. In Hindu also we say that 7 janmo ke liye. Right? Same thing.